Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Watch Closely. It's a weekly show where we take a closer look at the world of movies, shows, streaming, all that good stuff. We're glad you're here joining us on this fine Friday. We're doing a Friday live just to see what happens, just to see what happens. I'm joined today by a man who, on my signal, he will launch the Bobby Knockers. Ernie, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing great, dude. I did not forget to mute my mic. I was hitting it and it wouldn't freaking work. So I was like going like this.
I was like, oh no. No, you're good.
It's happening again. It's the second time. No. Well, I'm good. Dude, I'm doing fantastic. How are you, my friend?
I am good. Happy Friday. We are at we made it to the end of a long week. For me, at least, dude, I am exhausted, but I'm excited for this episode. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about this episode. But how was your week?
Pretty great, dude. I had a pretty chill week. We had a Memorial Day, right? So we had 4 days off, and I only worked like 2 days this week, which is kind of bummer, but it was pretty chill, dude. It was crazy. just not being at work, you know what I mean? Working as much. So we're just chilling, and then today was just kind of like a longer day for whatever reason. So when I got on, I was like, man, I can't wait to just talk movies with some call him the movie guy. Just kidding.
The movie guy.
Like I said, the movie guy. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to get into the podcast with you. But I was gonna tell you something, man. I totally forgot, dude. Say the words though.
Say the words.
Say the words.
You know what? I don't know what the words are.
Apes strong together. I'll just go. Come on. I just texted you.
I didn't know when you would. I read it. I said it to you on the mic before the show, and I was like,
I wanted you to say it again. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Okay, but we got to talk about this because this has been on my mind all week, and I just want to get your thoughts on this. So I'm looking at the numbers here for this week, and this is the charts as of why are we looking at May? Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, Garfield is on number 1 right now, guys.
Whoa!
Garfield.
Wait, hold on, dude.
It was Furiosa.
That's wild, but also I think where is that?
This is the daily chart. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I wanted to put that thing like this one. Oh no, wait, where's the little sound that goes "Get your popcorn out"?
Oh, you know what? Box office.
Get the popcorn out.
It doesn't show up for me, but that's great. I'm glad that it popped up, dude. This is wild because what were we saying? Like usually, I think it might have been you who was talking about. You're like usually the kid movies do really well, right? Like surprisingly well.
And like Mario,
and then you're like, and you're like, and it's not doing that well. I wonder what's going on. And then bam, dude, in a matter of a week, it's like, here you go. That's wild.
I mean, let's look at the numbers here. Like
Garfield
is at number 1, but it's $37 million. Furiosa has made $38 million. As of Thursday, May 30th, it was on top. So more people are going to see it, but Furiosa has overall made slightly above. And if you look at like the worldwide box office, it's only made 71 million out of what was it, like 150 budget? What was the box? The domestic production budget was 168 million. So, dude, it is a huge bomb for this movie. And I wanted to get into this because obviously Garfield was a very smaller production, and I think that was smart of them. Like, theirs was only a 60, so they've already made their money back, right? Worldwide, it's done 100, like 103 actually right now. So Garfield's going strong, and I think you're right. We had like Mario, we had like all the Minions. Like, there's new Minions coming out. I think it's gonna do really well. But I want to get your thoughts on Furiosa. Why did it do so bad? Like, this is pretty well rated, right?
Yeah, this is coming from someone who hasn't watched the movie, and I know it's going to be great when I watch it. But like, I've seen two sides of the movie, or two sides of like the argument on why it's not doing well. And one of them was, they're passing this off as a movie without Mad Max, and so people are like, "Where's Max?" You know what I mean? And I know you had sent me a TikTok about Max and who he is, and it's like this like It's a different character now. It isn't the same one like the Mel Gibson one.
You're
But
talking
we'll
about
get
the
into
Tom Hardy's character?
the Tom
Yeah.
Hardy is like not the original Max, is what you were.
He's the
Is what that
boy.
guy said.
Oh, yeah. The theory was he was the boy in was it Thunderdome, and then he assumes Max as his title, like
He's
later
the boy
on.
from Road Warrior. I don't think
Was it Road
he.
Warrior? Okay,
Yeah, it's
sorry.
Road Warrior. But no, you're fine. But
He's all
yeah.
grown
So there
up
was like
now.
this whole little speculation of it. But I mean, I heard that was one of the reasons, and then the other reason I had heard was because the movie I guess just wasn't advertised as well as it could have been. Maybe like a, but I don't know. I mean, like again, I haven't seen it. Like I know I do this movie podcast with you and we talk movies and all that stuff, but I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really watch trailers.
He doesn't
I
do the
don't.
yeah. He needs to almost like we assign you movies to watch. Like you have
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
it for the job, you know.
No, 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 no. I'll watch movies. I watch a lot of like random movies, but like for whatever reason, like it's like Furiosa, I'm in. Like I don't need to see anything about this. But that's
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to get excited already. I saw a trailer once and I'm like, I'm done. And then like it's like it's always shoved down your throat when you go to a movie theater. It's like this
Mm.
trailer, this trailer, this trailer. And I'm like, I don't need to see this. You know what movies annoyed the crap out of me? Like by this point, I'm like, I don't even want to watch it. Is
Which one?
Quiet Place Day One. I see that trailer
Uh,
all and I'm like,
Same
dude,
trailer, right? Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to see this anymore. Like
That's
you're
how I felt
showing
about
too
Fall Guy a
much.
little bit.
I'm like, you're showing too much, and you're like, I'm like, just I'm already there. Just come on, can I breathe? I think they need to change their advertising tactics to, like, this is one thing I was thinking of was like, because I know they spend a lot of money in production and all that stuff, yeah, and the actors and all that stuff, but like the advertising, I feel like they could like lower that down by doing like advertising, kind of sort of like Deadpool's doing, right? Like Deadpool partnered up with like Heineken to do a commercial. They partnered up with the AMC popcorn bucket, which we'll talk about later, and like things like that where it's like not super in your face, but it's like in your advertisement already. So like it just kind of fits it. Like I think like Furiosa would have like done really well had they done something like that. Like Planet of the Apes, they had freaking people in ape costumes riding around Venice in a horse. Like
Yeah.
that sounds awesome, doesn't it? And it's like, what the heck's even that? And it's like that's Planet of the Apes, my friend. But again,
Well,
I don't know if that
Planet
movie
of the
made
Apes
money back.
isn't doing that well either. Like,
Yeah.
here's the
So
thing. Like, it's funny that it's interesting that you say you saw the trailer and you were sold because I feel like a lot of people watched the trailer and were not sold. Right? Apparently, the people that went to go see it, which was not very many, judging by the box office, right? They liked it. Like both the critics and the audience scores are pretty darn high, but that like nobody went to see it. Like you obviously didn't go to see it, right? Like it's only 71 million, and that this is like a 3 day weekend, right? You have the extra holiday weekend. It's just usually a big weekend for movies,
but I'm a
and
victim of circumstance, you know what I mean? It's like
I'm not saying you specifically, but this was the lowest uh box office sales since they said like in like 30 years or something. Like it's of Memorial Day weekend. Like it's a
yeah, I
low
heard that
number.
too.
And I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like, is it just because the way they're promoting this movie is, are people sick of the girl boss, right? Like, she's front and center, and I would arguably say that Chris Hemsworth steals the show. And like, he's really good in this movie. But are people sick of the girl boss? Like, is that
But see, that's the thing is like,
a thing?
no, no, no. I mean, that's the thing is that you're saying that Chris Hemsworth steals the show, and it's like, had they put him in the forefront and he wasn't the main character, kind of like they did with Argyle, right? With Henry Cavill, like he was like the forefront of the film, but when you
Hmm.
watch the movie, it's like not about.
But that
Well,
was a bait and switch. Yeah,
it was
that
a bait
was.
and switch. You know what I mean? Like if
But
they
like,
do that,
so,
if they do that with
so
Furiosa, would it like cause a rift?
well, because you were saying, so what if this was actually a Mad Max centered movie? and,
Yeah,
and you thought it would do better. And I feel like maybe a lot of people are thinking that's the case, right? We're taking like this great character of Mad Max or Max, and we're turning it into like this. Like people, I would say Fury Road is very highly touted as a great action movie. Like a lot of people think this is it's one of the best action movies like in the last 10 years or something like that. And you you could say that one was focused on Tom Hardy's character, but then Furiosa was a lot of people thought she was good in the movie, but when we're taking her and putting her as the center, are we losing the essence of what a Mad Max movie is? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because I want like thinking about it now. When I watched Mad Max Fury Road, I really loved that movie. I thought it was great. It was awesome. It was so intense, and I did not once think like, man, I want to see a backstory, sorry, to Furiosa. Like, I didn't think that. Like I
right.
was just thinking like, what is the next Mad Max sort of like thing? And I think if like you could tell that some part of them were like, it's like they were like, well, we have to put Mad Max in this so they could sell because like they could have just easily called this Furiosa. Nothing stopped them, but they're
Right.
like, oh, it's a Mad Max saga. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Star Wars can eventually do Rey Skywalker.
Oh no,
No,
they better not.
Rey self-proclaimed Skywalker, a Star Wars story. Like they could
Everyone will
do
be
that.
like, no.
No,
You're
I know,
incorrect.
but that's what I'm saying. Like they could do that, but I think I don't know because it seems like a lot of people love the movie, and again, I can't really speak in volumes of it because I haven't watched it. But like, I know that people love the original Mad Max. Like the amount of people that I've talked to that have like my brothers, a couple of coworkers and stuff like that that I've asked. Oh no, not coworkers. Sorry, friends. Had asked. They all talk about Road Warrior. Like they talk about the
Mm.
Mel Gibson version, not like but some people do still mention the Mad Max Fury Road. So it's a I guess it's an in between about it. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it is the girl boss. Do you think like people are like, oh, here we're getting a girl boss? I'm mad about this. Like, it doesn't seem like that's what the case is.
I feel like a lot of people are burnt out on the switching and the like the bait and switch, right? Like you said, the one with Argyle, right? Like we thought we were gonna get a certain type of movie in the advertisement, and then we didn't. And word of mouth goes around about these things. I think it's just been people are losing, like it's like cry wolf so many times, and then we stop caring, right? Like it's that type of thing where we're expecting Hollywood to start producing films that are quality, and then when we see this, we think, oh, we're just this. We already have a picture in our mind of what this is going to be, and then we're like, I don't know, I don't want to see it. Like it doesn't have the original Max in it. It doesn't have Tom Hardy's character, and like I don't know who any of these people are. I do know that I was going to point this out that the original Fury Road only made 45 million domestically in its opening weekend, so it was a slow burn to like get word of mouth because people are like, there's no Max in it, right? So it did open low, and then word of mouth fed it. So like it could be a case of
A slow
circumstance
burn.
where it's a
Yeah,
slow
yeah.
burn, but
You could
this
be,
is
but
like been 7 days, right? It's already been.
yeah. Can I ask you a question? Is to you when you hear the movie Barbie, was that a girl boss movie? Is that like a because like isn't that like it's a Barbie movie about women?
Mhm.
Like that's what it is. But that
But
isn't a
Barbie
girl.
is like
You know what I mean?
is an established character. Like she has a brand. Like I know what I'm getting into when I go see a Barbie movie. When I'm going to
But
see a
did you
Mad
though?
Max movie.
But did you know? Because it
Well, I
feels like
mean,
that wasn't what it
I thought I
was.
did,
Yeah, and
but
I
I
think
know
that's what
I'm
I'm
at least
saying.
getting a lot of pink, and it's about a toy, right? Like it's a Mattel.
I see what you're saying.
It turned out to be like a very political charged movie, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, dude, I just feel like when you're it's like if you did Aliens and you ended up doing like a spin-off of like a side character that nobody really knows about, and it's like there's no aliens. It's like, wait, I came for the aliens, like that's a bad example, but
It's like oh man, I can't think of the guy's name, but it's like that dude, and it's like an alien saga.
yeah.
Like that,
And
come
people are
on.
like,
They did. What is this?
are
I,
we getting aliens? I don't
but
know.
see that's the thing is that like I get it the bait and switch, but like the movie is like highly regarded. Like a lot of people are like talking it up, and I know you said the slow burn and all that. So like why isn't it getting even more reception though? Like Anya Taylor-Joy is an awesome actor. You know what I mean? Like Chris Hemsworth is well known for Thor and a bunch of other stuff he's been doing. You know, he's like they have the star power to elevate this film. Like, what's going on? Like, what are we not knowing that like is stopping people from going? And I know we've talked about this, and we're talking about streaming stuff. Could something in Memorial Day weekend dropped on streaming services? That J-Lo movie,
It was
could that
J-Lo.
have could that movie have dropped and people have been like, I love J-Lo. Like she just canceled all her concerts, and this is the only way I'm gonna be able to see her in this film with Shang-Chi. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
As
what
an
is,
evil alien robot or
yeah,
whatever it was.
what is it? Because I get it, and then again, circumstance, right? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say circumstance? I think that's from Three Stooges.
Oh,
Random, but that's the way he says it, circumstance. But what I'm thinking is this Memorial Day weekend, I'm thinking either people left and didn't watch the movie, but like again, that's that excuse like Doctor Who. It was a beautiful day in London, so people didn't stay to watch the thing.
that was ridiculous, right? That it was the weather.
But it's
Everybody was outside.
But it's like that's what they could essentially say. Like they, like you've like again, you've made the not you made the excuse, but you said the girl boss thing, and yeah, possibly, but that's another excuse. It's like, could they have just made a girl boss movie that's like really awesome? I don't know why people
But it
hate
is. That's the
word,
point.
but that's the thing. Is
She's
like I hate that girl boss sounds like a stupid thing because girl boss movies have always been awesome. Tomb Raider, freaking the Aliens movies, what's Underworld with Kate Beckinsale. Those did freaking crazy. How many sequels did those get? That's a girl boss quote unquote movie. That's not what the case is. Is that you're making a garbage movie? I'm not saying Furiosa is that, but like that can't be true for all that. Like it just.
I think you have to look at it also like the movie theater experience as a whole, right? Because also if you look way down here at number 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Wait, yeah, at number 7, The Fall Guy. It's been out for 28 days. It's only made 76 million, and like that's another movie that was in my opinion, was a quality movie, right? I thought it was really really well done, and so like. There's been like there hasn't been any huge hit movies this even like in the last 6 months since the beginning of the year.
I don't know. What about freaking number 5 right there, dude? Haiku the Dumpster Battle.
From Crunchyroll.
From Crunchyroll, and that dude, those anime movies always do really well.
800,000, dude. We haven't even crossed the million yet. But yeah.
Those movies always do really well, and they don't have like the craziest budget, obviously, but like, why do those things do well? And I know we talked about that budgets, with like, bro. Yeah, but like also like just we discussed that last time. Is just because it's small budget doesn't mean it's gonna make its money back.
That's true, right? You know it has to be good storytelling. It has to
be a good something. It's like man, what was the last movie that had a small budget we talked about? Was I don't think you liked it. It was the one with the hand that you grab, talk to me or whatever. That like I think got its money back and then some, and that had a small budget. That is a great movie.
It was an original concept, right?
Yeah, but like not every original concept does well.
Like, well, that's what I'm saying is that everybody always talks about, oh, give me original content, and then something like Fall Guys rolls around and we don't watch it, or something like, you know.
So who do we blame? The weather?
Rolls around. Do we blame the weather? I don't even know.
Who do we blame? Jason, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm gonna go off of you, but I think you said this, and I don't know where you got it or if you came up with this idea. I'm gonna just say you did because you're a smart man. But I think streaming services has a lot to do with this. Like I honestly do. That's why I loved talking about the streaming wars and where streaming services were going to head. And we're going to talk about an AI streaming service at some point during the cast, but like where we were when we first started the podcast talking about it to where we are now is such a difference in streaming stuff. Not just in terms of the quality that we've gotten, but the quantity of it. And not just because we get quantity, it's like everything is good. No, that's not true. Obviously the J-Lo thing was really bad from what I've heard. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to make time for that, but like we've gotten some great stuff. Like I watched the other day, I watched that movie with Anne Hathaway. what's it called? I was talking to you about that.
The one on Amazon. That's like
The one
a
on
fan
Amazon.
fiction where
Yeah,
she
is it
gets
a fan
called out of the
fiction?
crowd.
No,
That's
no,
what
she didn't.
my
No,
wife
she,
watched it.
she,
Yeah.
she doesn't get called out of the crowd, dude.
Isn't it like a thing where it's like, oh, it's like when you were in love with a
She
boy
comes.
band in the
Yeah,
90s and they're like, I wish you would
no,
pick me and I wish you would date me. And it's
no,
like
that's
now
not
she's
what the
older
movie.
and it's
No,
self-fulfillment. No? Okay, tell me.
no, you're. Oh
I'm
man,
just
you're
going off what my
wrong.
wife said
No,
when
she's
she
so
watched it.
wrong because like that's not even. That's not even. Well, I mean, in front of the guys, you're not wrong, but that's not how it is. I get the fulfillment because I know that like your wife and my wife loved In Sync, right? Like that's
Right.
the full. I get that. I get her mindset on that. But no, this movie isn't like that. Literally, she walks into a dude's trailer, they talk and they hit it off, and then she walks away. That guy like pursues her because he's like, "Wow, this is a
And
fine
he just
milf."
happened to be a boy
And
band
he happened to be in a
singer.
boy band, like, but she wasn't aware of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like she's like, you're him from that or whatever." She didn't know.
Dang. Well, Ernie, like imagine, I don't know if you're a Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera fan, but like imagine
I
you wandered
am
into a trailer, you didn't know who she was. You start talking to Britney
Christina
Spears.
Aguilera, but
No,
I mean,
Christina Aguilera.
yeah, but yeah, it's like,
And then later you found out,
oh
oh my gosh, it's Christina
my gosh, that
Aguilera.
was Christina Aguilera, and or like I was Britney Spears, and I'm a slave for you. She sings, and then on stage she goes like, I met someone in my
Right, right.
trailer.
It's just like
I don't know why I'm making
he's right
it
there
sound
and
British.
he's much older.
And he's right there, and like
And
I don't
age
know.
shouldn't matter.
I don't know. I get that. I get that because like when I watch the movie plays off like it's a novel, like one of those like smut novels. You know what I'm talking about? Like the ones that like girls like to read, like 50 Shades of Grey
Fanfic.
sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like
Like
they
50
read
Shades of Grey was fanfic, yeah.
yeah. So it's like that. I did not mind it. I love a good rom com, and it did really well. Like the affection that they had for each other in the film is really well done. Personally, for me, I watch a lot of this crap. Trust me. And
I have to bring on my wife to talk
I would
about
love to talk to
this.
her about it. I think
I would
me
love
and
to hear her thoughts too. She said she was embarrassed for Anne Hathaway. She said she shouldn't have done the movie.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think it's because of the guy. Like, I think that dude doesn't match her. That's the problem.
Well, that's the problem, yeah.
That's the problem is that he doesn't match her because she's gorgeous and like I'm not saying he's ugly in any way. He's not. He's a good looking dude, but I'm saying like she doesn't match like
with him.
with her, that with her. You know what I mean? I think that was the issue for me. Like I was like, man, like because me and my wife said the same thing. I'm like, man, she could have done better. Like we're like, why are we thinking?
Oh,
that?
she
Like,
said that too. Oh,
yeah, she said that as well, but it wasn't. But I'm telling you, when they had those moments of like intimacy and like lusting for each other, it was there on screen. Like you can actually tell it. It was actually worked.
He's like, I'm thinking about it right now.
I'm not. I'm done. I've watched
So,
some other smut by this point, but
I would say though, when you're in a streaming mood, your expectations are a lot lower. I would say, like if you go watch sitcoms, they're a lot lower than if you go watch HBO, right?
I agree with you, and that's what I wanted to get into with the streaming. Where I was gonna get into it is like these movies are there, and I know it sounds terrible to say this, but it's like you can tell when a movie is a streaming movie. Like we've talked about when we've seen, I forgot what movie we saw in theater, and we're like, man, this is a streaming movie. I think me and friend of the cast Lex had come up with this thing when we were doing the podcast quotables, and we're like, is this a see it, skip it, or stream it, or something like that? It was like a thing, and it was like, or was it with you? I forget who it was with, but it was
us.
like, it was us. Okay, so when we started watch closely, we did that, and it was like because like we could have just waited for this movie. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's like it's because I don't know what it is because I guess because we get so much content, we have to be a little bit more choosy with what we get.
I think that's one of the problems, right? Like streaming has made it so watered down. Everything has become so watered down that there's no like epic storytelling anymore. And any sort of epic movies that come out, we keep getting burned, right? We keep getting like these they're just not that good, right? I feel like I have like a lot of the big movies that we see, like Planet of the Apes was okay, right? And then like I'm trying to think of other movies that
Haikyuu Dumpster, the battle.
Haikyuu Dumpster, okay.
What about God? Okay, okay, you say that, but what about Godzilla -1?
Godzilla minus one came out of nowhere from overseas. Like it came across.
But
You know
it's
what I
like
mean? It wasn't Hollywood. It wasn't a
no,
Hollywood
it
movie.
wasn't, and
I feel
that's the
like people
thing.
are
It's like
getting burnt out on Hollywood. Like
that's
I
what it
feel like
is. That's what I was gonna say. It's Hollywood. It can't
yeah.
be. There's content out there. There's a bunch of crazy stuff that like we've barely scratched the surface on. There's some
I think
great
that's the
stuff out
issue,
there.
right? There's so much content or so much variety of content to choose from now that Hollywood hasn't stepped up to match. Like there's competition now, right? I don't think they realize that the overseas market is growing so big that people are, especially we're going to talk about like AI stuff, right? Like imagine once the language transcribes, like the things that can happen on the
Oh, what we're
fly where
talking
you can,
about with the
yeah,
AI thing, yeah.
like if you plug
The
that
AI
into any
language.
overseas movie that would normally have subtitles, you instantly gain a bigger audience because there are some people that just don't like to read, right? Like so yeah, dude. Like Hollywood, I feel this is just me personally. I feel like the reason why the box office in general hasn't been doing good is because they haven't been hits, right? They haven't been doing well. And I was gonna show you that clip that George Lucas was talking to the
Yeah,
Cannes
please. While
Film
you're looking for
Festival.
that, dude, can I tell you a little story? May
Yeah, I
I?
got it.
What
Go
makes
ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
cinema?
No, go. Tell me a little story.
Not anymore, dude. Just kidding.
Come on.
No, I'm just kidding. There was one time, friend of the cast, McFly, who joins the podcast sometimes. We were at this sushi spot and we parked. And I always think about this every time you say people don't want to read. So this is why I wanted to tell you the story.
Oh,
We parked in a parking lot that was shared by the sushi spot and this particular liquor store. And so we parked on the liquor store's parking, but I wasn't aware. I just parked there because I didn't look at the floor. And we came out, we ate all good, and that guy was out there, the owner, smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Hey, you can't park there." He had a really thick accent. He was like, it was like an Asian dude, and then I was like, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I wasn't aware that I was parking, on your spot. Like that was not my intent." I was telling him like being like sincere, and he's all, "Can't you read?" And I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like there is no talking to this guy. He's just pissed at me, and I walked away. So every time you talk about the read, I always say, "Can't you read?"
and he never parked there again.
And I haven't gone back there since that incident
That's
because
crazy,
I don't
man.
want to get told I can't
You're
read.
like, I can never go back. Okay, here, let me play this real quick. This is
What
from
will cinema become in 10 years?
Same thing as it is now.
That was
Nobody
awesome.
knows what to do. The stories they're telling are just old movies. Let's do a sequel. Let's do another version of this movie. There's no, and it's not just in movies, but in almost everything. There's no original thinking. It's like people just, I saw something, let's do something like that.
Yeah.
Those big studios, they don't want that. They want something that is like something they've seen.
It's
Because they don't have an imagination to come up with, to see something that isn't there.
You're muted.
so what are your thoughts on that, bro? Like that's he's ripping into Disney at that point.
No, yeah, he definitely is. I think, it's funny because you dropped this on me and you were telling me about it. And the first thing that came to mind was Moana 2. And I was telling my wife, we're going to talk about the trailer a little bit because I have to. But in the trailer, you watch it and it's beautiful. Like it's really gorgeous. And I'm like, what is even this movie going to be about? And at the end, what's his The Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson says a line similar to like something he's already said in the first one. We've been watching the first one a lot. I forget what it is right now, top of my head. I think he
This boat
says
snack. Yeah.
boat snack or whatever. And I was thinking in my head, oh my gosh, this looks like those Disney movies from back in the day, like we would get, like Beauty and the Beast, go to the summer camp, or like, like freaking Aladdin, Prince of Thieves.
Oh
And I know
yeah.
you're gonna get mad at me. I know most people will, because like you guys are like, oh, I love those movies. They're fantastic. And I'm like, yeah, they're okay. They are not as good as the original. They are not.
Oh no.
I mean, Lion King 1.5
They're
is pretty
product, right?
awesome.
They're there to make money, right? They're there for the kids to be like, oh, a new Aladdin movie. Oh, a new
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, and exactly. And like I showed my daughter the trailer, and I'm like, look at this trailer. I want to show you something. She's like, okay, show me. She told me, and I was like, all right, I put it on for her and my wife. My daughter was like, oh, I want to watch it again. I want to go see that. And I'm like, can we see that? And I'm like, we got to go to the movie theater. So now every time it's random, but every time we go to the movie theaters, because we always go to that area,
Yeah.
she'll tell me, I want to go watch a movie. She'll tell me. That's neither here nor there. I just thought it was funny. But my wife was like, what's even this story about? Like, what is
Right.
even Moana 2 going to be about? Like, there is no clear, like, story here. Like, what's going on?
We should get into this because I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. But I just wanted to say before we move on, like, I think George is 100% right. Like, I think that right now, I think this is the indicator of why Hollywood's doing so bad, is because there's no original content and they're not taking existing properties and creating great stories with them. They're just trying to capitalize on, you love this property, you're going to go watch this property. And I think that's why they thought Furiosa was going to do good, right? They thought, oh, you love Mad Max. It says a Mad Max saga at the bottom. You're going to go watch it. And the audience was just like, no, like, you got to do better than this. That's what I think. I think the audience was like, I'm not dishing out, or I'm not taking what you're dishing out, right? Like, give me something better. Because the trailers didn't sell you on it. There was no other reason to, like, unless for some reason you love Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, that was the only reason for the cast, right? You're going for the cast. But that's it. Like, there was no tie-in with Mad Max character, and it was just kind of, yeah, man. I don't know. Do you think, or do you agree? Do you disagree?
I mean, I do. I agree and I disagree because we just talked about it like not long ago, right? We were talking about the originality, and even when we get original ideas, people don't go see them. So it's like,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not original enough.
But I think this is a case of it's an existing franchise, and you're wanting to see more stories about the franchise you love, right? Maybe. I think this was that case. Like, people went to go see Garfield because they love Garfield, right? They know they're going to get a Garfield movie.
You know what you're getting, but also, like, that's not original. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the story and animation of it, but it's.
I think that's why it
it's
didn't do
already
well either.
It's not a new character,
Yeah.
but
like, that's why it didn't do as well either, right? It should have
true.
done Mario numbers, right? Like, it should have done, 100,000 in its opening weekend, or 100 million in opening weekend, but it did, like, what, 37. So I don't know. That's my thoughts, bro. I want to get into this trailer though. So somebody pointed this out online, but I have other thoughts. So watch the opening scene. This is supposed to set the stage for the new Moana, right? Like, this is the new story.
Moana the movie, or Moana the Disney Plus series that was supposed to come out?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's totally obvious that this was cut together from a series of Smullers. But so, like, there's this little crab, and he's in his shell, and he sees another shell similar to his shell, and he comes over, and he looks like he's gonna, like, switch, right? He's gonna upgrade to the newer shell, and then you see the ore drop. Obviously, that's Moana's ore, because Maui wrote the little, transcribed it.
He tweeted.
She takes the shell away from him before the crab can go inside, and then replaces it with a taller, pointier shell, which I would argue is a smaller shell, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Is that a smaller shell, or am I just tripping?
No, it does look smaller.
This is bigger, right? This is
but
the upgrade.
But Jason, she needs it so she can. You'll see.
That's not the same shell she blows that's not the same shell. Why does she take that shell? See, that's obviously a bigger shell. Like, if you look at the one where she look at the size of her fingers. Look, it's huge. It's a tiny little shell. I want to know what's up with this crab. What is Disney saying with this clip? This is the opening of Moana 2. What are your thoughts? What do you think's happening?
That she's there to help.
What is she doing? She's taking a bigger shell.
She's giving him a pointier house. No, I mean, my assumption is, and again, I don't know. I haven't seen this show, but I'm thinking that this is like a setting the stage for her doing what Maui did, which is helping people that don't need help. Right? Maui's whole thing in the first movie is that, I mean, it's not that he didn't help him, but he steals fire for them. He pulls the sun down so we can get more summer. He eventually steals the heart of Now I'm saying I might say this wrong. I've been watching the movie, but
Heart
the heart of Tafiti, he steals the heart, which causes the islands to, the coconuts to get messed up, all the trees and all that stuff. It could be that that's what she is doing. That's what it's like showing you, that she's becoming like making the mistakes Maui is making.
Maybe.
But that's my guess,
That's
seeing the
good
trailer,
guess.
thinking of. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm a friend of the cast. I watch trailers, but that
He's like, "I'm
that
here all
was
week."
that's what I was thinking. But also, like, maybe we're reading too much into it, and she's just probably like, maybe she thinks the pointier house is way better for them, so like it
See,
can protect them from predators or something. I don't know.
that's the assumption, right? Because to me, it doesn't make any sense, right? It should be, this whole opening scene should be establishing Moana as the hero character, right? Like whatever it is, you need to set her up immediately. Like that's the art of a good trailer, is like it needs to be a hero, right? And so like it would have been better if she took the little shell and gave her the big one that she had or something, right? Like to be kind to the animal, but she gives it like, this is arguable. The first shell is arguably very similar to the shell that he has, but it's just bigger, right? Like, is Disney just like being very obvious to say like throw off your shell and get a different shell? Like, is this the point? Is this like a weird message that they're trying to give to kids? Like,
What is the
what's
do you
the underlying
mean?
message? That's what I'm trying to say. What is the underlying message here?
Is the
Because
underlying message like you're saying, like there's like a double meaning towards it, like where it's
yeah,
like, oh
maybe.
yeah, like you shouldn't get to the bigger shell, you should get the shell that we think you deserve, sort of thing. Welcome to
Or
June. Welcome to June 1st, Gay Pride Month, kind of thing. Like, is that what you're saying?
is that what it is? Is it a gay message?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
Is it
But
a
it
trans
feels like
reference?
that. It feels like that's where you're reaching. Again, I don't know. I mean, it's just. I think you might be reaching a little bit. Who knows? It's like,
But like, why
it's
is
like,
this the opening? I want to
it's like,
know.
well, we'll give you it. You'll take it. That's what you're essentially thinking that Disney is saying. Probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Disney has given us a bunch of things that we don't want. So I mean, they
I
know
was,
that they're not making their money. Like,
dude.
why
I was
this sort of
okay.
thing? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was racking my brain trying to figure this out, because I was like, looks like a conch shell to me. Like that's the same shell that she blows the horn and she makes the sound, right? So I was Googling. I was like, do conches kill crabs, like hermit crabs? Like, is there some sort of like war they have between each other? Like, is she trying to save his life by giving him a different shell? And like, I was like, oh, like maybe, like I'm like, there could be a reason why Moana switches the shell.
Oh
And
my
I don't
gosh, I can't wait to
understand.
hear the rest of the trailer. I don't, like, he's like, why did he get the chicken and the pork chop or whatever? Or
Is it
pua?
saying like like the only thing I can think of is that it's like, here, you were gonna be a girl, now you're a boy. Like, this is what it feels like, right?
Dang.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I think you might be reaching, dude. I don't know about
I think
that
it's
one.
reaching too, but it's just
But
bothering
it
me. It's
might
like,
be. It could be. I mean, do you think like Moana's gonna become a shapeshifter herself and become Moana, or like where he becomes a man? Moana. I couldn't think of
just becomes Mo.
Mo. Yeah, like I don't know. I doubt it. I mean,
I don't know. It was just very weird,
like
especially like
if they
the
were
opening.
to do, I'm sorry, this is a rant here, but if they were to do any sort of like sexual reveal of any film in any sense of the word, like just like a movie, I think it would be Frozen.
Oh, I think
I
it'd be
think.
Inside Out. I think Inside Out too.
No, that's a good one though. We talked about that the other day, huh? It could
Yeah.
be. I think Inside Out is probably gonna mess with that for sure. Like, I don't feel like a girl, I feel like a boy kind of thing, maybe.
And
But I
there's been
think
no, like, I mean, that's been a long-standing rumor, like the way they did the first one, but like there's been no plot leaks. I've been looking all over for like any sort of leaks for Inside Out 2. It's nothing, dude. I'm really curious. They haven't
well, I
shown us
mean,
anything, and it comes out in like a couple weeks.
the only other thing that I could think of, that they've announced that they are gonna come out with, is they're gonna make a show about the dreams that she has. So
Mm.
you know how they have the dreams works or whatever in her dreams, the movies that she has that are essentially her dreams. They're gonna do a show on that on Disney Plus. So essentially, the character of Riley is gonna keep being the
Oh,
main protagonist of the whole series
I didn't know
if
this.
they
That's
do
cool.
more. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, at the end of Inside Out, I've been watching this movie a lot as recently as well.
Yeah, I watched it with
You
with your daughter when we babysat your daughter.
Oh, okay. So that's
We're not babysat, but we were all hanging
we're
out
all together. Yeah, yeah.
So,
You were babysitting me, if anything.
that was
But
great. That was
so
fun though. Memorial Day was a good day.
that was a good day. Man, what was my thought? I'm sorry. Oh,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. So
Inside Out.
at the end of the film, like Riley has her, sort of like joy, sadness, all those people controlling her emotions, right? And then eventually get into the other brains of the parents and all that, and like, I mean, you kind of get that in the movie too. But I'm saying, like, at the end, you see that the boy who's like has a crush on her, he has his set as well, and it's like there's a lot of networks here of these people's like life or whatever. So I'm assuming that they're gonna deal with like more than just her, but like, so they could essentially be like, oh, I'm like a they them kind of person, and then they like go based off of like how the emotion feels about it, or how, you know what I mean? Because like I know you said they're trying to push that narrative, but that is a good movie. I would think that they would definitely, not a good movie to do it too, but I would think that would be the movie to do it. To handle that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I thought the first one was great. I loved how, the combining of emotions, it made a lot of sense, like how she's maturing in life, and how you can have memories that are sad but also happy, right? I thought that was really cool. I think Inside Out 2, like, they haven't really given us anything, but all the little snippets they've given us have been really clever. But that like you said, like the fact that her emotions are like a mix of boy and girl, and the other ones that look like they're all like, they all have mustaches. They're all for
you're right. Yeah.
But I mean, it could also be like they're just trying to differentiate between, because she's like the core character. But we'll see, because I think even the dogs, right, and the cats had the
they have
the same emotions. Like, there's clips of that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're so right, because you're so right. Kylo Ren, before he stabs that old man. But you're right, because the dad, they all have the mustaches and all that stuff. It makes a lot of sense. Even when the boy, they're all boys.
Right. They all look like him.
That's so crazy. So yeah, maybe she could be dealing with something. I know in high school a lot of people like dealt with like knowing if they were gonna be or whatever. So maybe she's just gonna deal with that. But whether they go full force and they're like, she's gay kind of thing. It's like, it is Pride Month, so it could be like the
It's
big
always
push where-
Pride Month.
I mean, we always celebrate it. I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, every day is Pride Month. Come on now.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the trailer though, because I just want to wrap the trailer. So like we get the cool shots of,
and look at the way the sand works here, because I think
and if you look at the sand, is it sand?
Or is it Disney telling us that we're all just grains in this thing, a little big planet we call the world? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. What do you think about the animation? It looks pretty neat, right? Like, it looks like
the animation clips that they pick at, they're all pretty, right?
Yeah, and she looks a lot more like a little older, right? The dad.
Yeah, he's got a little gray in his beard,
I think he has a son or a daughter. I think
at first I thought that was her, and it was like a flashback, but I think that's
that's a new. He has. See, look, I'm trying to see if they're covering their, her chest.
Yeah, I think she's got a little.
But it looks like a shirt, so it might be. Yeah, she might be a girl.
Yeah. And then there's this whole scene where like lightning strikes.
That looks cool.
It looks cool, and then that's clearly Moana. She's holding something, and then lightning strikes. But then there's a quick, like she like gets pushed out of the way. But then it cuts to this. It's like it looks like one of those things that's like a lantern, or like a thing you would like cook in or something.
A skillet.
A skillet that breaks apart, but you don't see that here. Oh, it's this thing, right? It's this thing that I don't know what she's doing. She's making tortillas. I don't know what she's doing, but I know I was trying to get, so that breaks in half. Maybe there's some significance there, and then that's all we get. And then we're back to this, which is basically like a callback to the original movie, right? She looks a little older, and we get that funny like little moment with Hey, little chicken is drumming. She thinks it's a callback, but it's just Hey. I'm glad he's not. I'm glad he didn't become a boat snack.
I wonder how long it's how long This is after the first one.
Sail to new skies.
It can't be that much because she looks like she's only a couple years older, right? Like, does she look that much older?
She looks like she's a
I
little
love
older.
this guy. This
It looks
guy with-
sweet.
You think there's going to be new friends? You think they're going to add characters?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, why
that's-
wouldn't they?
That's usually what they do in the TV shows, right? They expand, they show you like different
Yeah.
parts of like her island. And
It's like
stuff.
freaking, Stitch. He's like, Stitch has a glitch, and it's Leroy Jenkins or whatever.
Yeah, and then you meet Leroy, and you meet the pink one, and like all the different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one from World of Warcraft? I think Leroy
Jenkins, yeah.
And
I
he
remember
runs in. That's such a classic.
That's
World of Warcraft. You crazy.
But-
man.
Okay, and then we get, yeah, a lot of nostalgic, and then this is like just pretty, but we have no idea what it is, right? Like it's got some weird eyeballs on it. Looks like she's gonna go back down to the where the crab is. What was it called?
I forgot his crab, but he's sweet. He's like, 'cause I'm shiny.
Yeah.
Then he goes. I'm sorry. This is we talk about this all the time at the house, but she has that little the heart of Tafiti.
Yeah.
He like the crab. He's like, what is this? And he tries to touch it. And she goes, no, that's my grandma's or whatever. And he's like, it's my grandma's. And he's like, I ate my grandma.
He's like, I ate my grandma. And then he's like, pick an eye, babe.
It's such a good scene, dude. That character is awesome. So yeah, I would love to.
It is fun. It's fun. And then we get that little moment that you're talking about with Maui. Dude, you know what makes me sad though?
Boat snack. Oh,
Boat snack.
boat snack upgrade. Bacon and eggs. Why didn't you bring the pig last time?
I mean, it's kind of cute, but it's not like
yeah.
it's like it's a streaming movie, right? Like I
Yeah.
kind of get the sense. It's not a theater movie yet. Like I don't know what it's about.
We don't know because it's a teaser, bro. It's only teasing. You know what I mean? We don't get the theatrical yet. But like my daughter watching the trailer, she kept asking through the minute mark of it's a minute and 44 seconds, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Where's Maui? Where's Maui?" She kept asking, "Where's Maui?"
Oh, really?
He comes out in
Oh.
the end, and she got excited. So like maybe this movie, and again, I don't know who says this. Maybe a friend of the cast. This movie is probably not for you. This is for the kids, right? Like,
Well, I think all this trailer does was say like, "Hey, we're back. Remember Moana, right?"
Hey, do you
and then
remember
at the end, it's like,
Maui's?
"Oh," and then also don't forget Maui's in there too. It's like, okay, cool. The gang's back together, but there's no story, right? Like it doesn't tell you anything to hook you or get you excited to watch it. It's just a, hey, remember this?
Yeah,
It's a member berries.
I know. Definitely. I think at the end of the trailer, it should have been like, watch Moana 1 on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
They should've done that.
Moana 1 is now streaming. But I was gonna say, I do get that sense that this is just a strung together Disney Plus. Like it does feel like it's gonna be condensed down. And the sad part is like a lot of animation is gonna get lost. But the other thing is like all the voice actors, dude. Like they had voice actors that had already done, because obviously The Rock and the original girl, I forget her name, Aaliyah somebody. They weren't in the show, right? So they had already done. They had, like, you remember you were saying how you prefer if they go and they get like true voice actors for roles. They did that, and then they had like voice actors doing these roles, and then they went back and they got The Rock for this. Once they knew they were gonna turn this, cut it into a feature, they're gonna just totally disregard all the, like, scrapping all the voices and like going back to the
I
original.
mean, they're probably going
cast.
to change them, right? Yeah, they
It's
can.
kind of sad. Yeah.
Who's talking about this last? I think they were talking about. Oh man, I forget his name, but it's the guy that does Lord Farquaad's voice. I think he had recorded the audio to be Hades. It was in an interview. He was talking about it.
Oh,
You know
no
what I'm talking
way.
about? So
The
he
guy
was
from
going to
30
be
Rock.
30 Rock. Yeah, I forget his name.
guy-
If you could look it up for me if you can. But he was supposed to be Hades. Like he had the role. He filmed the whole thing and everything. He recorded his lines.
Oh wow.
And they ended up going with James Woods, right? James Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah,
James
so
Woods
like,
was doing-
and he was talking about it in an interview, and I'm like, that's so wild, and they definitely do that with this. I mean, the thing is,
Why did I say
got-
30 Rock? It was Third Rock from the Sun and
Third
John
Rock,
Lithgow.
John Lithgow, yeah. So they got the original voice of Maui. The Rock sells. People love the voice; they like him. It's got the original girl too, which is awesome. Again, sells it. The other voice actors, I don't know if they're gonna keep the dad. The dad is whatever that guy from freaking Boba Fett. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, what was his
Yeah,
name?
so
Tamara Morrison.
yeah, so he is. I don't know if he's gonna be the dad again. I haven't actually looked, but I'm assuming that they're all gonna be the same cast. I think for the new film that's gonna be out, which is the live action version of this, I think they're gonna get a new girl because she didn't want to come back.
Mm.
So
Oh, they got the Alan Tudyk is still voicing Hey. That's good. The chicken is back. That's funny. The dude, you know the one that I actually didn't realize they had replaced was actually in Inside Out 2 that we're talking about. Did you notice this? The voices changed.
no, who?
So in the original, where's it? Inside Out. Inside Out 1. Bill Hader was the voice of the purple guy. Fear, right? And then in this one, Fear is voiced by Tony Hall. I didn't notice. Like, I really didn't think about it until I was looking at the cast. I was like, oh yeah, Bill Hader was in
Holy
in
cow,
the
you're
first
right.
one.
That's wild. I didn't even notice that.
And I mean, Tony Hall's recognizable too. Like he's done.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
done
I
a
could
lot of
tell it's
stuff.
Tony Hall. Yeah,
You know,
Arrested
Arrested
Development.
Development. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Forky or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's Forky in Toy Story 4. You're
Toy
right.
Story 4. Yeah.
But it was wild to me. I was like, I wonder why. Because also the voice of Disgust, I think was what was her name? This is the second one.
Oh, and discusses Mindy Kaling.
Oh yeah, Mindy from the Mindy Project, right?
And this
Mindy
one's
Kaling?
Lisa Lapira.
Lapira. Lapira. She's
That's
voicing
so
Disgust.
interesting. I'm wondering why they maybe they didn't want to come back, but
That's rare for Disney though. Like when they do sequels, like usually they.
it is. But I feel like the ones that you really want to be the original voice is Amy Poehler and Phyllis Smith. I think those are like the top characters.
Yeah, and Louis Black, you can tell is Louis Black. But I mean, Bill Hader is a very iconic voice as well. I feel like there's a conspiracy where they knew what the story was going to be.
Oh, and they kicked themselves out.
They're like, I'm not doing the second one. Imagine.
Could be.
Ernie,
I mean, what?
I love a good conspiracy. Let me just say, I love it.
I haven't been into conspiracies recently, but yeah, I think you're right. They're nice.
Did you hear when Anya Taylor-Joy got married? She had 2 cakes. Her wedding cakes were shaped like hearts, and it was a vampire-themed wedding. Was it a cake? Was it a cake?
What is it? A body? Oh my gosh! And she's a bloodsucker. That is wild.
She's a vampire.
She's part of the Sorrow Suckers. I don't know if you remember Sorrow Suckers are from. You know what I'm talking about? Sorrow Suckers from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah,
the dude.
Sorrow Suckers. It makes me think of What We Do in the Shadows, or the attention suckers.
That's
or
right.
no,
not
attention, but
energy suckers,
energy
vampires, energy vampires. Yeah,
he just shows up. What are we talking about? Just shows up out of nowhere.
You know,
that's such a good. Go ahead.
No. You know what? You talking about Inside Out 2 has made me less excited for it.
Nah, dude, I'm excited.
I'm gonna definitely gotta go check it out because my daughter loves Inside Out 1 a lot. So I'm curious to see how she's gonna feel when she watches the second one.
I honestly feel like families are gonna be hesitant because of Disney's track record recently. I'm really curious to see how well it does. I feel like it'll track well because the first one was so good.
Yeah,
and people are just gonna be like, obviously the second one will be good. But
I mean, what did they do? And so the last not big Disney movie that I could think of was not the biggest, but it was Wish, right?
Wish. Yeah.
And Wish, the only thing Wish had was a variety of different cultured people or whatever.
I know you liked Wish, but
I thought it was okay.
A lot of people didn't like Wish.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I think I really liked it when I first saw it, but then it grew out of just enjoyment for me. I don't know why, but the music's pretty cool. I was listening to the song the other day.
The voice acting is good. The music's good. The story's just not
that great. Yeah. But what I'm thinking is they had an Asian girl and she was handicapped. They had a guy who's really small, kind of dwarfism. It looks like. So I think they were trying to check their boxes in that sense, because you were talking about Disney and what they do, and I think They didn't talk about anything like that was like due to sexuality in any way that I could remember. Like I don't think they said, "And Magnifico is gay," or like they didn't drop that on us.
No, it was just there was no. It was a kind of another girl boss moment, right? Like where she didn't really earn the ending. It's just that everybody like she just rallied people together to just believe or just like start singing, right? Like, it was just like he was defeated by a song. It was kind of weird.
It was pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, Ernie liked it.
There's a song that goes that there's a song in that movie when they're sort of rising up to like take out this like king, and it's a na 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 na. No, it's pretty sweet, and it makes me pumped up to take on Magnifico. I'll tell you what.
He was charming. He was charming, but he was crazy, right? He was a little psycho. He was sweet, but a psycho.
He was
a
a
little
control
bit psycho.
freak. Speaking of control freaks,
Speaking of control freaks,
I couldn't have a segue for that. I was going to tell you.
what are we going to talk about? The Acolyte? Is that what you want to talk about next?
Accurate. Yeah, let's talk about Acolyte.
Acolyte. So Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fans' attacks because of the fan base being so male dominated. Ernie has nicely wrote a little summary of this article, and I shall read it. So Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, in a New York Times interview, discussed the online harassment women in the Star Wars franchise face, highlighting the backlash against the upcoming series, The Acolyte. Created by Leslie Headland, this series set before The Phantom Menace features a diverse cast, including, there's a lot of names, Amandla Stegberg, I'm going to butcher all these, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Jodie Turner-Smith, and has already drawn criticism from fans opposed to the increased representation of women and minority characters, derogatory nicknames, calling it wokeolite.
That's a good one. I didn't.
The wokeolite.
I like that one. I'm sorry. That was a good one.
Kennedy emphasizes the need for inclusive storytelling and supported Headland's vision despite the predominantly male fan base harsh treatment of the female stars. Headland, aware of the toxic fan reactions, limited her exposure to the online comments, empathizing with Star Wars fans, but condemning bigotry, hate speech, as contrary to true fandom. So like the quote she has at the end, she says, "As a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. I felt it myself," she said. "I stand by the empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear, anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan."
Dang, that's a Obi-Wan Star Wars fan of mine when that one girl was getting all the hate. I forget her name.
Oh, right. She's like, anyone who does this is no Star Wars fan of mine. Well, yeah, dude. So, what are your thoughts on this, dude?
I want you to get into it first. Honestly, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I mean, you had just read. What are your thoughts?
It's weird because, to me, I feel like she's attacking the very fan base of Star Wars. Like, to me, I feel like Star Wars has gone from being this beloved franchise to like this very toxic, like, I have like no interest. I want there to go back to their roots, and I feel like it's kind of like when you say, I really love The Matrix but I hated Revolutions, but I keep going back and watching it, right? Because you're looking for the good in it.
It was the fourth one.
Oh, sorry, Resurrections.
Resurrections, yeah.
So like you keep going back and watching that because I feel like you're looking for the good in it. You're trying to find some good in it. And like, that's how I feel about the last trilogy. Like, I keep wanting to look for those good moments, but then overall it was just such a mess. It was just so horrible. Like the way it ended, and the fact that they bet it all and made like a Star Wars land in Disneyland, and like they tried to do the Star Wars hotel, which just closed down, and like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just so weird how they just want to continue this story. And I know this is set like before, like it's set in the past, but like Star Wars is a male audience. Like, a majority of people that love Star Wars, at least they did, right? They were predominantly male, and of course you'd have the Princess Leia fans, and like there was heroes in this story that were both male and female. I don't know why she's attacking like the majority of the fans. Like, we just want good stories. Like, that's the whole point. Is like, give us great characters that we can root for. I don't think the majority of people have any like. The reason why we don't like this girl boss term is because they're not good stories. Like, she's just like an overpowered character for no reason, has no struggle. Like, we want stories that challenge us, and like stories we can see ourselves in, and that doesn't necessarily mean we have to check all these boxes. Like, we just give us quality storytelling. Like, we love Star Wars as a world. I don't know, that's my thoughts. Like, I feel like give us something good and we'll happily come back to Star Wars. But like right now you're just like, we don't like, we see the writing on the wall. We're like, oh, okay, this is another one of those. Like, you're giving us another one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's what people saw in Furiosa too. Even though the movie might be completely different, it was justified. She went through struggle in Furiosa, but people saw it and they're like, oh, it's another one of those. And that's why they're calling it the Wokalite. But yeah, that's my thoughts too. What do you think?
I think you're toxic. I'll be honest.
I'm
with you.
toxic.
I think you're a toxic fan base. No, I mean, I understand what she's saying, and I'm sure they get a lot of backlash. Like Kathleen Kennedy, I think gets a lot of hate, and I mean, in a way, like kind of rightfully so, because because she's led Star Wars down a path that like kind of seems like it can't get out of. But then there's like these hit shows like Andor, and there's a lot of stuff that there's still Star Wars out there that people enjoy, and I think
nobody watched Andor. It wasn't a hit show, bro.
I mean, people liked it. The people that
people liked it. Yeah.
People that watched it. I should have said that right. But that's the thing is like, well, how the heck do we even know if people watched it, Jason? Disney can come up with a number and just throw it at us. Neither here nor there, but like there's no way for us to tally it up ourselves. Oh, that's a new website. Go ahead. Take that idea, guys. But
call it Tally Up.
Tally Up. Oh shoot. We're gonna log off the stream now. But the whole thing that why I put this on, because I really, we love Star Wars, and I don't like where it's gone, but I hate that they do this, because they do this essentially every time a show drops. They start to because they know it's not going to do well. They start to, they're like, well, it's not it's crowd. Yeah, exactly. It's crowd. It's like, it's not our fault. It's your fault, because you don't want this, because you're a bigot. You don't want a girl to be on the forefront of Star Wars. This is your fault. And they blame people for not having a good show. They did that with Doctor Who. They do that with Lord of the Rings. They do that with everything that they're trying to get, like, where it's like, this is like, because you called me a bigot and or a toxic fan, I'm gonna stop talking. Oh, I don't want to be titled that. I don't want to be titled that. So like, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain this. It's like when you go like, you're a poopy pants. Like when you're a kid, you're a poopy pants. I'm gonna tell the teacher, and then like, oh, now I won't say it again. I won't say it again. Like it's like that. Like they're treating you like kids. Like now you can't have an opinion whatsoever on anything that you like or dislike, because I like, again, I said I get it. There is some toxic people out there, and they need probably help for them to do what they do and say what they feel like. They want to kill people because the movie sucked. Like, come on, then figure something out in your life. Like I'm not defending these Star Wars movies. They're not great. The last ones are not great. But I'm saying if this movie is like it's like tearing you, and it's tearing me apart, Lisa, like freaking like the movie The Room, like it's tearing you apart. Like, yeah. Dude, go seek help. Like, these are just movies. They suck. Yeah, get rid of them. I stopped watching The Matrix 4. I told you, I watched it so many times trying to find the goodness in it, and I can't. There's something here and there, but like I always say that, but like it's not. It's a terrible movie. But I didn't go tell Carrie Ann Moss, why did you do this? I can't believe you made this movie. You suck. You wanted the money. You know what I'm like? I don't care to say that. It doesn't matter. Our opinion or saying that doesn't matter. I always say this because this is true. Vote with your wallet. If you don't want this to do well and you want them to hear you, besides you yelling at them, don't go watch it. Don't subscribe to Disney Plus. That is your way of telling them, go F off. I don't want this. Because the
Yeah.
more you just keep telling them these things, or like, because they're just going to keep doing this. They're just going to keep saying, oh, we're the victims. We're the victims. What was me? We're the victims. They did that with Indiana Jones too. We're the victims. And
Oh
then
yeah.
they had to do Crown Control with Harrison Ford, where he dropped the video all old and going like, well, I want to say thank you for this movie or whatever. And it's like, he doesn't care.
Or the privilege.
Well, you remember that? Like,
Yeah.
Then I'm like, it's crowd control. It's like they're
Yeah,
controlling
exactly.
what the narrative is to fit their needs.
Mhm.
Whether they want it to be a girl boss, whatever, that's fine. That's okay. Ray Palpatine could have been an awesome character. Look what they did. They want you to like these characters before you even get to know them based on what they are. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I didn't look at Batman and was like, man, Batman looks cool. He looks kind of dumb. He's a guy in
Yeah,
a
if you
bat
step
suit.
back and like see it, yeah, just think
He's a
about
guy.
it.
Yeah, think about it. Go back. Don't look at him for what he is. Like what the character does. He's looks dumb.
You
You
look
know what I
goofy.
mean? He
Yeah.
looks goofy. He looks goofy. But then you like see all the cool stuff he's doing, and like you're like, I want to be Batman. Same, you know what I mean? Like it's like I
Yeah,
think
same for
that's the
Superman.
problem is
Yeah.
that they don't like. I mean, you've said this, and I don't want to make it sound like I made this up, but I know you've said this. I know we've had this thought, but it's like that's the problem is that they're not focusing on creating likable characters. And I get it. It's like, oh well, maybe we're creating characters that are not for male audience. That is not true. I know a bunch of people who love Star Wars and they love Leia. You know what I mean? Padme,
Yeah.
dude, I thought Padme was awesome when I was a kid. I still think she's awesome. I went back and watched it again. I'm like, dude, she's all young, like helping the Jedi do all these things, and you're like, dude, like in the movie, she's like what 14, and she's like ruling this
Yeah.
area. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I was like, man, she's awesome. And then you watch, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. She gets much better. Like Natalie Portman does an awesome job in Revenge of the Sith. But that's neither here nor there. But like there is characters that are awesome in those movies. But then we talked about this with I think it's The Last Jedi, second in the prequels or sorry sequels. The purple haired lady puts Poe Dameron down, and she's like basically a bee bag, right? And then she ends up sacrificing herself, and then she does it, and I'm like,
You're like, she doesn't deserve my pity. Like,
I don't care, die. Like you did nothing cool.
right.
Like it because the character wasn't like well written or likable. That's the problem. Is like they're not creating her sacrifice would have been cool because it was cool. Like when you see what she does, you're like, dang, that's crazy. But I don't care about her. I don't care that she died. Like she was lame.
Yeah.
Like they ruined like, dude, Leia was awesome in the other films, and then they bring her in Last Jedi. And then she dies.
Oh my gosh.
She dies, uses the Force to get back in, and it's stupid.
It's crazy.
Like it's just dumb. But I don't know. I feel like I'm just ranting. I'm like rambling a lot about this, but it bothers me that they're putting everyone in this particular pot of toxic fandom because it's not true. Because these are like we always say this, the vocal minority is toxic. Yeah, they talk a lot of crap or whatever. I get that because they don't have anything better to do and they feel like this is what they need to do, talk crap. But like there's people like me and Jason who can talk to you about Star Wars and how much we love Star Wars. Like me in front of the cast, Lex, we'll talk about Star Wars randomly sometimes. Like you don't see that because no one talks about that. Because I guess the freaking negativity outweighs the positive of all this. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like just the fact that they're going after the fans, that like all we are is like we are consumers, right? We are choosing what stuff to consume, and you're getting mad because you're like, here's what I made you. You should be happy with it. But it's like, no, dude, like we're the ones who are giving you the money. Don't get mad at us if we stop giving you the money because you haven't given us the product, right? Your goal is to give us something that we want to consume, right? It's like at that very basic level, and it's just crazy that they say, oh, you just don't like it because you're not the type of person that should be like, like it's like get out of here, like that's not
Yeah.
that should never be in this. It should never even be in the conversation, right? It should be. You should see the box office now and think, oh shoot, something should change, right? Like we probably need to change something because the majority of people are not paying for what we're dishing out, and that's just good business. Like it's crazy to me how much they're pushing through, and just like you just gonna have to take it. Like this is what we're giving you. I think that's why Star Wars fans are pissed off, is because they can clearly see a path to greatness, right? They can see like this is what we should do. Like there's so many great stories in the like the fan fiction side of things and stuff that's not canon, but like thinking outside the box, coming up with creative ideas, and I feel like people want that. And when you just keep giving us like it doesn't even feel like a streaming show. It just feels like what? Why waste my time, right? Like you haven't given me any character development. You haven't given me any reason to root for them. You haven't given me any reason why they're in danger or conflict. There's nothing. It's just like, here it is again, Star Wars, go watch it. It's like, no, like I'm not gonna go watch it. Like give me something. Like I need good story to keep me there. It's the same thing with Rings of Power, dude. Like try to go watch Rings of Power again.
I did.
It's
I
hard.
tried.
It's like I can't do it.
It's hard. Yeah, I don't want to do it again. I was watching the
Oh,
first episode. I was like, man, this is rough. But
Yeah.
I want to go back into this. You were saying, well, I wanted to say we were talking about like the crowd controlling and all that stuff. You know how you can tell that they're crowd controlling a movie because they know it's going to do bad or it's not going to do well. They start having the actors talk about how something should be justified in what they're doing. And I think Charlie Barnett, I think he's the one that plays Yard Fundar in the show Acolyte. He essentially starts talking about how it's okay to be evil or something like that, but he ends up messing up and he says Anakin blew up the Death Star. He was trying to say Luke, but he says that, and like I know everyone's chewing his ass out for it because he says Anakin, but I kind of want you to play the clip.
Did you link the clip?
Yeah, it's on X, aka Twitter. But
oh yeah, here.
Yeah, play it real quick.
Does that have audio? It's muted.
In trouble for this answer at Star Wars Con. I got heat. Yeah. And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. People have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now.
You should just shut
then
up.
it's just
the girl. You should just be quiet.
Shut up. Yeah,
oh
like,
my gosh.
like they're justifying what they're trying to sell you. And like look at the other stuff that you watch in terms of like the advertisement that the actors are doing, and they don't do this. They're not cleaning up the mess of movies. They're just talking about how much they love what they've done.
But guys, Anakin didn't blow up the Death Star.
I know it was Luke, but I think
oh
I'm telling you, he was so excited. Look at his face.
When he doesn't know. Okay, I know you said it was like an honest mistake, but he said
looks like he might be.
He said this at Star Wars Celebration, and from the time he told that story up until these interviews, nobody has corrected him. Like nobody has been like, "Bro, it's Luke."
Funny thing.
That's not Darth Vader.
Someone on the comments on LOL. Luke and Lando both blew up the Death Star. Anakin as Vader and the Emperor established and built the Death Star to rule the galaxy. I love that he started off like the preface of him stating that he's been a fan from the outside looking in, like he knows he's a big fan of it. So you should like not make that mistake. But also, like I've made the mistake. I was telling you guys that I would tell my daughter about Darth Plagueis, and I would always say, and I would say it wrong. I was saying the line incorrectly, but she says, "I've ever told you the tragedy of Darth Plagueis." He says something like that. He says it like that. I was saying it differently, but I make the mistake. I mean, I made that mistake, but it's like I know what I was talking about when I was
That's like
saying
the
it.
core of Star Wars. Like you have to know the difference
That's
between
Star Wars.
Anakin and Luke, right? Like I
That
feel
is
like
true. Mine is a quote, but still.
Dude, the
get
other
it.
thing that he says though about what does he say?
I did get in trouble for this
Star Wars,
answer
like-
at Star
You
Wars
got
Con.
heat.
I got heat.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. People have been talking to me online about how
I like how he
Darth
looks at
Vader-
her.
Wait, where's the clip? He did another thing where he's saying like the beauty of Star Wars is that there is no good and evil. And I'm like, there is
Is it
clear good and evil, bro.
I
Are
think,
they even watching the original? I don't feel like they're even watching the content. anymore.
supposedly they weren't. Like I remember reading a headline or something like that about they weren't going to focus on any of the Star Wars like lore. They were going to make something different or something like that. I forget.
See, that's a red flag right there.
Something like that. Something in that terms, or at least that's how I read it. But I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a new story, making they're trying to create. You know what they're doing here, Jason? They're doing a Venom. They're doing a Venom, Craven the Hunter, freaking
Sonyverse?
no, but like man, what's
Oh,
that
the
thing that you don't
anti-hero.
like? The anti-hero. There's another Joker. This is what they're essentially trying to do within the Star Wars universe. And I know you hate this because I know you're a big fan of like, let's get those heroes who
Give me the rules, right? Who's the good guys?
Who's the good
bad
guy?
guys?
And this is rewriting that. They're trying to make what the bad guys are doing justifiable.
Yeah, I think this goes along with they're just trying to confuse it, right? Like they're trying to cause as much confusion and watering down of the stories.
But for what?
But for
what
what
purpose? For
But
what
for-
purpose, Jason?
For what purpose? And I think
To
it's
create more like what? To create more bad shows? To create more discussion for this? Because I know we're talking about it. But what is it doing?
I think it's just ruining film. Like if you look at the box office, like nobody's going to the
But this
theaters
is
anymore.
streaming. This is streaming. This isn't even.
I know,
this
but
doesn't affect the box office. This affects Disney. Like,
it's going to affect Disney too if nobody watches it, right?
but that's the thing, Jace. We don't even know. How the heck are we going to know? They're essentially going to throw a number at you. They're going to say 1 million people saw this.
Right. And did they really? There are ways. We can find.
See that's the thing is like I feel like I can't trust most things. Like I tell you this, and I strongly believe this. I don't trust those tomatoes that are rotten. Like I take that with a grain of salt for most. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
you
okay,
should.
this makes a little sense. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. But I'm like, no. Most of the times, I'm like, no. These tomatoes are I don't know. There's something off. Someone got bought off
Are
the
they
other day.
tomatoes?
Are they? Someone got bought off to like do a review, so that this particular terrible movie got a 60% verified fresh. Do you remember this? This whole thing was going
Right.
on, and then they were like, "Oh, we don't do that. We don't condone that kind of thing." And it's like, if that one person or those people were getting paid to do that, what makes you guys think that other people didn't get that? These people can be blacklisted from going to premieres. Everyone gets blacklisted. I think there was a headline, or not a headline, sorry, there was a story about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is like the biggest pop star or whatever. I'm not going to talk crap because the Swifties will come after you. And I like Taylor Swift. I like her music. But she has PR team that told this particular article people, I don't know what some news outlet, like to not talk crap about Taylor Swift because if you do, you're going to get blacklisted.
I know, yeah.
That is crazy that they can do something like that. So that means essentially most of the YouTubers and those people that do the reactions that get like Mrs. Marvel movie and they go, hey, or whatever, and you guys are like, I love the reaction. It's so genuine. It's like, is it?
Yeah.
Is it genuine?
Dude, that's the crazy.
You like that little yell though that I did? Hey, using my
sounds
face
like
too.
him.
I was
Yeah.
sure someone's gonna see it too. They're gonna be like, "Oh, look at this funny video."
We should clip it.
No, don't clip it out. That looks terrible. But I'll do an honest reaction for Moana theatrical trailer.
Okay, the last thing I'll say about this before we should probably move on, but it is a scary thought to think that the studios are also the ones that own all the publication companies, right? So like,
Yeah,
if you know it's going to be bad and you start putting out ads or like articles in like the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, whatever, and you're pushing the narrative, like, what does that say to, I don't know, like, think about that, right? Like, you're basically telling people that other people like this and there's something wrong with you if you don't like it. And I find something really wrong with that. Like if you're, it goes beyond just whether or not you like a movie to trying to affect culture in general. And I think movies are a representation of the culture, right? Like they are supposed to be reflections of us. They're supposed to be reflections of our culture, our time, and like how we tell stories, how we're passing. You know, if you go back to times before movies, right? We used to sit there and talk
the
to
Mesopotamian ages. I'm just kidding.
Mesopotamian, yeah. But like we used to talk to each other, right? We used to write things down. We used to share it in books, share it in whatever. This is a point where we're not even letting people sit there and tell their stories. It's like if somebody was trying to tell me a story and then all of a sudden someone comes in and say, wait, you can't talk about this part. Wait, you should change the ending to be this. You should do this, right? It's like you're what's that word where you're not like a Gestapo, but like you're the referee. You have a referee after you, preventing you from telling any sort of good story. And I think it's a weird time, bro. It's a weird time to live in because a lot of people are turning to YouTube because there's just people that will just hit record and tell you like straight, this is what I think. This is what, they'll tell you a real story. It's funny because my wife and I were actually talking about Friends, right? She loves Friends. She's like, where are the Friends shows? There's no new shows like Friends that I can sit there and watch.
There's a bunch of them. How I Met Your Mother, Community. I'm just kidding. They're not like Friends.
Community, yeah, that's a good one. But like recently, like, is there any recent, like, really good sitcom shows?
Modern Family, probably no.
That was a long time ago. That's gone. Yeah,
oh my gosh,
I'm trying to think.
Front of the cast says front of the cast Lex says Schitt's Creek or whatever that show.
That one's good. That one ended a long time ago too. I'm just trying to think like.
What about
nowadays,
Blackish? I don't know. There's like shows I'm trying to call out, but I think you're right. They're all old. There's nothing new. Old. What about the Young Sheldon that just ended?
Yeah, that was.
But that's not a sitcom, like not a comedy.
But that's a little bit more. Yeah, like she really likes The Good Doctor. She likes, but it's funny. A lot of the shows. Oh my
gosh, The Good Doctor, the one where they go, "I'm a doctor." That one.
Yeah.
That guy, he's like autistic. I only seen clips. It looks interesting, but like I can't. It looks so like.
It's not bad. I watched a couple.
No, but it just feels so like it looks like it's trying too hard. Like it just doesn't look good. Like I watched clips of it. Like I watched quite a bit of clips because I'm like, oh, looks like something maybe I'd watch. And then I watched it and I'm like, man, this does not look good. Like I don't like how he's portraying his character. Like I get he's autistic, but it's just like, I don't know. The story was not, it just didn't work for me, at least in those clips. Maybe I should watch a full episode. But then I ended up watching, but that's the thing though. I ended up watching clips of the show House. And it's just a clip of the show House. And I'm like, dang, this is good.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of the actors from House end up going and making appearances on The Good Doctor. So it's kind of a mix of like House and Scrubs and like other kind of doctor shows. Where,
so everyone comes in, dude. Like
like Dr. Fringe. There's
Dr. McDreamy comes out from
I don't know if
Grey's Anatomy.
I haven't seen. Maybe he does. I haven't seen all the episodes. I haven't seen all the episodes, but maybe. But anyway, like that's a drama show, right? That's not like a sitcom, funny comedy sit down. Do you remember the conversation that Seinfeld was having, saying that like, oh, the entertainment industry's dead, and he said like you used to be able to go sit down after work, and you used to have the show that was on that was like a nice, like funny, lighthearted show, and like those don't exist anymore. And I feel like I was thinking about it because I feel like both of them are right. Like we don't have a very good mix of like funny comedy sitcoms anymore. And I feel like what has happened is that they have been replaced by the 90 Day Fiancés, right? They've been replaced by the reality shows because you don't have that excuse of like, oh, you wrote it this way and it offended somebody, right? It's supposed to be real life people that you're just recording them. And it's like that slice of life where you just get like a view into somebody and it's funny. They try to set it up in different scenarios and cause drama and things like that. But like those reality shows, I feel like are taking the place of Friends or taking the place of, I don't know, whatever
you're probably
shows.
right. Yeah, you're probably right. That's
and
crazy.
I think it's because you can't write it, right? You can't write it anymore without it being offending to something.
I mean, maybe and maybe not, but I also like I was thinking about it too. Like I remember when Friends had come out, or like recently when they were doing a lot of the kind of like canceling people, doing that whole thing. They were talking crap about Friends, that there wasn't enough black people or something, or I forget, but they were like talking about it. And then they talked about Ace Ventura, how in the movie he like gets grossed out by kissing a transgender. Do you recall this in the movie? It's
yeah.
Because at the end she ends up being a girl. Yeah. Sorry, spoiler alert. But like, so they were trying to cancel that movie, and it was like it's like a whole thing. It was interesting. So I don't know. I guess I could see how you like it can't be made right now, but also like, why do they stand the test of time? A lot of the shows, like The Office and or Friends and or like Family Matters, freaking Full House, like why are they such great shows and they like you put it back on and they're still great? Like what is it? It's like
it's the characters, right?
You sound like Family Guy though, like where it's like, where are those good old fashioned values on which we used to rely? I think it's because you want something that is not the norm now. The norm is so different in terms of like, and that sounds dumb, but like what people like want to see is so different than what we used to see. You know what I mean? Like when they were making those shows, those were for a particular time frame of people. Like you can't put on Seinfeld now and it would hit the same because it's such a 90s sort of aesthetic of things that were going on at that time.
I honestly feel like the audience is the same now. I just think that the way that Hollywood tells you that you're not supposed to like it, honestly, I feel like the reason why they stand the test of time is because they are good character developed shows. And there might be some things that offend, but like the quality is a lot better than it is now. And I think the reason why I think it's Hollywood, dude. I think it's Hollywood telling you you're not supposed to like those shows. I think the audience right now
isn't that kind of stupid of Hollywood, right? Like what? Like it's not like I get it. We keep blaming Hollywood, but like, why would Hollywood try to crumble themselves? What if they want to keep making money? What are they?
I don't get it.
It just doesn't make sense. But like, man, I guess talking about Hollywood. Now we're gonna talk about
we should get into
something else. Let's get into this new AI thing that you put on here on the show notes. I'm really curious. I know we looked in the video, but I'm curious to hear more of your thoughts, please.
Let me pull this up here. So, on top of all this, right? So we talked about all the different things that are affecting Hollywood right now. Like we got nobody's going to the theaters. We got people. Hollywood's struggling. Let's just be honest. But Fable Studios, which is an Emmy-winning company behind the AI-generated South Park clips. So they were the first to try to create content that was AI-driven with this like the South Park characters, and you could type something in and like you could kind of, it's like a create your own adventure type of thing. So, but they announced this platform called Showrunner. And it's a new streaming platform that they're trying to develop that allows users to create their own shows using generative AI. And this platform can write, voice, animate real episodes. And they're episodic. I was looking into it, that each episode is like a self-contained, not like the drama shows where they have like an arc throughout the whole season. So it'll be very episodic. It's aiming to let viewers create create and control the dialogue through prompts. So you can create the dialogue, you can create the characters, the scenes, described by CEO Edward Shatazzi as I can't say his name, Satsi, as the Netflix of AI. He says the showrunner, the platform Showrunner includes 10 AI created shows and uses with users' abilities to join the waitlist for a free test version. So I wanted to like show, I was trying to bring up a little bit of the clips of, there's this guy that was talking about it, but I want to give you like a little snapshot. Like there's this little intro for it. And they basically have 10 shows. And I'm trying to show where that prompt is. Right here. He shows a picture of this.
So the shows that we will be making an AI show.
This guy's talking about it right here. So here, this is like what it is. So it says, watch this, and you pick a genre, and you said the genre, it's like, so say you pick action. So it's action meets something with a touch of something. And so you could put whatever you want, and then it'll try to generate a whole episode for you of like these shows. So like, I guess the shows are like within the framework. So like they set up the rules. So like one is like a Cars, like very Pixar like. So the cars will be talking to each other. One is supposed to be kind of like a Silicon Valley type show. This one looks like it's like a little robot that interacts. I'm not sure. One is like Sims, kind of like Sim City. But dude, crazy idea, right? Like crazy that they're thinking of, because this is the, like we keep saying with AI, like this is the worst version of this it will ever be, right? Because it can only get better. And it's just crazy to me, bro. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about like an AI generated show. Like, would you be down for something where you just type something in like this and like get custom content, like specifically to you?
I mean, having curated content for myself sounds like a great idea, but also like I am thinking about this as the average consumer. Like getting home, Jace, I don't want to be working to create something. I just want to watch Community and or Friends, like something that's already, like that. What's that called? What do you call it? The food, I forget what you call it. Comfort food. Like I don't need to be creating stuff. This is definitely piqued my interest though, like that, like design, like mindset that I have. Like I would love to try something and like make a Western anime something would be awesome. But like, would it be good? like is it gonna be, just because it's curated to me, like is it gonna be great only for me? Like if I showed you, like if I show you this, will you like it as much as I did? You know what I mean? Because it is curated to what I would like. But again, it's pretty general in terms of like what it's adding. I think I was telling you this prior to the episode, but like the other thing I could think of that I would like to discuss is like, how would this how crazy will this be in the wrong hands? Like if someone created something so crazy, like I'm wondering if they have like prompts or things to like stop that sort of like things from occurring, because someone could create like really terrible things with these kind of things, but also someone very creative can create some really awesome things. And then another thing that I would want to go ahead. Actually, go ahead. Get into.
I was just gonna say, I think the reason why it's like a show, like it's not just like an open prompt, is to like set the restrictions within this world, right? Like it's set up a world of like, okay, you're in San Francisco and like you kind of get an idea, but you're right. Like I guess somebody could craft a prompt to like just be really evil or really like messed up, and like maybe it would do it. But I'm hoping like they'll probably set enough guardrails. But then again, it's just for you, right? Anyone can type in whatever they want and they'll get something custom for themselves. So in a way, it's kind of like Apple Vision, right? Where it's like it's just a single player experience where you can't really share it with somebody. Like I guess maybe there might be a way to share.
Maybe, but that's the other issue.
I guess you could watch together.
What I want to bring up is like, I create a hit show, awesome show. Like it's like, man, it's gonna win Emmys. Do I own it? Like I don't. It's theirs, but it's AI created. Like they didn't create it. I mean, they
Yeah,
wrote
that's
the code
true.
for it, but they didn't. You know what I mean? That's the thing that like is
Right.
also interesting. You're fine. Is that like is that we don't know how far this will go. Like I think there's I remember this for a game. It was called Dreams that Sony created, and they basically gave you this engine in the game while you're playing this game, and you essentially can create games, and they come out some really crazy, cool looking games. I think it did do as well because it was restricted in terms of it was just for PS5 when they should have made it as like a PC platform. I think it would have been way more powerful, and they would have been able to create a lot of cool stuff. I don't know if they ever did. I never looked into it, but they created some really cool games in the game. And what they did was like if the game garnered enough audience that people were downloading and adding to it because you can like share it. I can create this game and be like, Jason, I want you to work on the audio, and then Lex from the cast, I want you to work on the jumping mechanics or whatever, and then we would all combine into this one game. And
Oh,
if
I
it,
remember this.
yeah, and if they did really
Yeah.
well, essentially you can sell it to like with them, and they would get a cut, and you would get a cut of whatever the game is. And so
That's
that was
cool.
like a thing, and it's a great idea, but like are they doing something with this? Because it kind of seems like they could just steal my ideas, basically. But maybe
Yeah, that's true. I think it's kind of cool though because this is kind of like a. Do you remember Choose Your Own Adventures? Like they used to have these like books.
yeah, Dragon's Lair game. Oh, the games are
Oh, they used to have games too. The Dragon Slayer game is like a Choose Your Own Adventure. Yeah, they used to do it in book form, and then they turned it into like game form, where you'd have like different options. Like you want to do this, you want to do this, and it would.
they did it with Netflix as well. On the
Yeah,
Batgirl
Netflix
show.
did some of this, but like this is basically that, but infinite, right? Because you can have infinite possibilities of like just based on the answers you choose, and you don't have to as like a game designer has to go in and like think about all those use cases and those edge cases and kind of fill in the gaps. This could be automatically done for you. There's like, I mean, obviously there's good applications for gaming, but for entertainment, it's a pretty cool idea. I think the only thing is it's requiring, I mean, television and like streaming is like the laziest form of entertainment, like by default, right? Like I just want to sit down and like just show me something fun, right? Like I don't want to have to sit there and be like, what do I want to watch today? And like think of like as silly as that sounds, there's effort to that, right? There is effort to like thinking about I want to see this.
I know.
And when you have absolutely infinite options, it kind of stifles you. Like you're like, I don't know. There's just too many options. I don't know.
It becomes a Netflix of things, right? Where it's like we have so
Yeah.
much content that like what do I want to watch? Like I've gotten into moments in my life where and I usually it's like either I want to watch sci-fi or I want to watch Western. Western was the one that took over me like not too long ago, and I was watching I forgot the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and he's like young. I think it's the Quick and the Dead. And I was into Westerns at the time and I'm like, man, I want to watch True Grit. And then I'm like, man, I want to. So I kept watching these movies, Tombstone, and so like I get that. Like, let's say I finish watching those movies, I'm like, well, you know what? Let's go to Showrunner and let me create a Western anime with like, make it look like I don't know, someone wrote it, like Ben Affleck wrote it or something. Like, I don't know. Like they could essentially create that, yeah. But that's like I would have to get to that mindset to do it. Like I don't want to just log into Showrunner and be like, what do I want to watch today? I feel like I would already like I guess you can, but that's not like it just doesn't sound like something I'd want to do. Like sometimes you just want to plug and play. Like I think
Right.
me and front of the cast Lex were talking about this recently, and we're talking about like how the older we've gotten, the more we were just like, I'll just pay for that. Like let me just pay to like plug in and play, to just not have to deal with anything. And like I was telling you today about the Peacock with ads with my wife, and I was like, I don't want ads because it's like it's gonna take longer for me. I just wanted to come to me faster. But she's okay with
Right.
ads. But I'm like, nah. But it's like not plug and
Yeah,
play.
like
if I don't,
time is precious. You know, you gotta
like
get.
that.
Yeah, you don't want to sit through the ads. I hear you. I think what'll be cool is once we get to a point like because like this has to get better, right? Like I saw some of
Definitely,
the preview stuff. It's mostly talking heads. It's mostly, you see a talking head and it cuts to another talking head, and it's very simple. But this is just a start, right? Like this is gonna get more advanced. Month after month, it's gonna get more advanced. And I think the cool thing will be if they do start showing like here's what people created, and then people can build off of it, kind of like the Mario Maker. Right? Remember they released that
Oh
Mario
yeah,
Maker,
yeah. That's a yeah.
and like you love Super Mario Brothers, but then if you just like I want to play more Super Mario Brothers, like it exists because amazingly talented people crafted these additional
Whole
levels,
worlds,
right?
yeah, and they're pretty
That's
wild
pretty
too.
cool.
Like they're
Yeah.
pretty neat.
So I mean, yeah, I think there's possibilities here, and it will be crazy if, say, somebody creates a really awesome show, you get really hooked on it, you watch, a whole season, you're like, man, I wish they had an episode about this, and you could do it. Like that's pretty cool, right?
That is pretty cool. I'm gonna create one. I'm gonna sign up for this. You know what I'm
You
gonna
sign up for the
create?
beta.
I'm gonna create an anime about two podcasters who talk about movies, and while they talk about movies, they have to, I don't know, have to deal with something crazy. I don't know yet. I have to figure it out what it is.
There you go. That'd be cool. So yeah, we just wanted to bring your guys' attention to this because this is the first announcement of some sort of like purely AI generated Netflix type of solution where it's like pure entertainment. And I mean, it's crazy times we're living in, right? Like it's just gonna get more and more bizarre. And it's funny, like all the headlines were like, Hollywood's nightmare. Is this the end? I mean, these are tools. Like you got to roll with the punches. Like things are changing, right? People are finding better ways to get more and interesting variety of content. And
Yeah, I'm wondering if
Yeah.
someone's gonna do this with. I know you showed the AI with like the music thing the other day. I'm wondering if someone's gonna do that with the AI, like music, like where it becomes like more
oh yeah,
like a thing. I think the big miss with this, and which I was talking about with the dreams. I think if this becomes a thing, I think they should allow people to collaborate on a project. I think if like me and you
Mm.
create something together, I think that would make it a little bit more substantial in terms of like wanting to do something with it, because it does become a thing to like, oh, I want to have curated content for myself. Yeah, but it's like, what if I wanted to create content and make a bigger platform on this is one of the steps. And like you said, AI is going to get better and better and better, and that is awesome, but it's also scary because we're going to get a lot of people who are basically never struggled. Like they're not. I think you sent me this with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or no, I mean Sylvester Stallone, where he's talking about how people used to struggle and that made them tough, and they made them like figure out some way to get something done. And now it's like everything is just catered to like to
oh
you,
right,
so you don't have to
yeah.
like figure anything out.
You don't
So
you don't have to get the thick skin that you used to do before. Like he was talking about the boxing gloves, right? Like he has his original boxing gloves, which he said they don't allow them anymore because they're so thin, they're not padded enough, right? So like it's dangerous to box with these gloves. He was saying. So
yeah.
same type of thing, right? Where there is a value in having to struggle and build that thick skin and like build that, it's character too. I mean, like this just gets back to character, right? There is value in that, and there's value in hard work, right? So I agree with you. When things become so easy that you're not putting in the hard work and it's just given to you, you become very lazy, you become very complacent, and that makes you soft, and that makes you easily swayed.
See, there's not going to
Because
be
you
any
gotta have a balance.
creativity to your stuff either. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
just like what George Lucas was saying. Like no one's going to want to create new stories now. These are going to be created for you. There's no soul to it. There is no, like, I get it. AI is like smart as heck, but it will never understand what it is like to, I don't know, freaking have to do your hair or raise a child and put it onto a movie. Like, could only mimic what they think that would be. You know what I mean? So like putting it on screen, it's so different. Like that's why there's movies that you watch and sometimes you cry. Like I told you, I watched the movie Iron Claw like 3 times now at this point, and the ending, it gets me.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if an AI can create something like that because it doesn't know what it is like that to have that. It can mimic it, but it might
Yeah,
not.
all
hit,
all
you
it
know what I
has
mean?
is a collection of our human experiences that it's been put into, right? Like it hasn't had any of those experiences itself, right? So it's like how do I connect with that?
But yeah, let's move on, Jace. I want you to watch not watch, but I want to get your reactions on this. Put up the Deadpool Wolverine.
I was gonna say
popcorn
we
bucket.
should end it on a high note. No, we should have a little fun here. So they finally.
Oh, there's a trailer for it. I just saw the images. This is
Oh,
awesome.
you haven't seen the trailer? Oh,
I
dude, the
have
trailer
not,
is
bro.
fantastic.
Oh my gosh, dude! You
Look
should
at the
probably
tongue.
take
Look
out
at the
that
tongue.
audio, dude.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. So, essentially, who those?
Wait for it. You gotta watch this part. The song comes up and then watch the butter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, friends of the cast, what we just witnessed is the new Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket. It's essentially Wolverine's face, but his mouth, the mouth of Wolverine, is a big hole. And I know they're making fun of the Doom popcorn, where the whole sexualized thing, and that's exactly what Ryan Reynolds and them created. And it's
I don't know if you've seen those.
We thought it was
those
going to be way
Snapchat
different.
filters. There's like these Snapchat filters that make his mouth really wide and goes "Blah!" like to anyone you shine it on. It's like that, but Wolverine. Like, and it's just like the top of the bucket is just him like like mouth
so
open.
Awesome, bro.
Too funny.
Jesus Christ, that is wild. I can't believe that trailer. I did not know that.
You hadn't seen the trailer?
I had not.
Man.
I had like just seen images, and I was like, man, this is sweet. And I told my wife, should I get it? I'm like, I have to. Right?
It's gonna be hard to get, bro. I think it's gonna be hard to get.
We'll see. I feel like they can't be that. They can't be that stupid to like make not enough of them.
He's all. Boop.
I wonder when they're gonna start going on sale.
Oh man, you probably have to get it like the day before the movie comes out. You probably have to go over there and be like, "Can I get one of those?"
Maybe, but I feel like it might come out sooner than that.
Have you seen is it Cinemark that's doing it? Where if you got a pre-sale, it gives you a token and you can go to one of those claw machines. They're setting up claw machines, and if you grab one of those little eggs inside it's the pendant. It's the little Wolverine Deadpool.
Oh, I've seen that, dude. I want to go with that. That's so
I was
awesome.
like, dude, we need one.
Yeah, but I don't know who goes to. We don't go to Cinemark. The only friend, actually,
is
we
it
have
Cinemark? I don't know,
but I know a friend of the cast, Ivan. He goes. Maybe we could ask him. I think he goes to Cinemark. We could ask him to go do that.
It's pretty funny though, dude. I think this is not what I was expecting. I was really expecting it to be like a Deadpool and a Wolverine, but just the fact that it's like Deadpool designed it to make fun of Wolverine, because it says it on the bucket, right? Like somewhere like here, designed by Deadpool. That's too funny, bro. It's gonna be. But see, this is a thing where this could be polarizing to people, but they're taking risks, right? I think this is why it works, because people can see that they're having fun with it, right?
But this is like they know their audience, Jace.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like I feel like other things that we talked about, like they don't know.
Why doesn't
audience.
Disney know its audience?
Because they're trying to create a new audience, and not like in terms of like they're trying to get rid of you, but they're trying to get new people that aren't you. So they're trying to cater to like this small batch of people that don't really exist in the Disney, sort of, subscription services. So they're trying to get those people, like the people that are that. I don't think this is like, they don't do this to be like, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, to be honest with you, is that they're trying to get money from someone else. When we'll give you money. I'm just kidding. Imagine I get all.
That's true. Dang, I got a shout out to Devin, the friend of the cast, Devin. He says, "Hi guys, it's Devin. Hello, Devin. Welcome. Thank you for listening." I had to give a shout out to this guy. He's a longtime fan. I think Ernie. I think that we should wrap it up here. We've been going for quite a while.
Wrap it up.
Any other thoughts before
No, I just want to get that Dune popcorn, dude. Have you gotten your tickets to go see the movie?
No, but I saw yesterday. I saw 2 open seats to the early screening, but they weren't together. But I was really tempted. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit. I don't know.
I wonder if your wife would get pissed if you saw it without her.
I'll be like, "Hey, you want to see it? But you got to sit 2
away
rows
from
behind
me."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man, did you get your tickets?
I have not. I'm gonna look into it. I told my wife, and she said she was down. I got to check if she's off on that day. But I'll check soon. I think tomorrow is like my first day where I'm not doing anything. Like I've been busy this week. So tomorrow we're gonna go to the beach and then chill for a bit, and then I'm gonna get the Furiosa tickets for the night, and then I'll probably do the Deadpool. I'll probably talk to you. I'll text you if you want to come with us, because I'm thinking of going early and having my daughter get babysat. But I don't know. We'll see.
Wow.
But Jason, as always, I would like to thank the friends of the cast for tuning in every week when we drop an episode and when we stream. I know we've been kind of on a mixed bag of streams, but we appreciate it and we appreciate you. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Watch Closely Pod. Jason, please.
Give me like 2 seconds. You guys have a great weekend if you're just enjoying the weekend, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Till then, keep classy. Goodbye.
Bye.